Welcome back to another episode with the Founders Diary. I'm your host, Poonam Premnath, and today I'm really excited and to welcome Priya Cassins to this episode. So we're doing this in the honor of the World Dance Day, and Priya and we actually met through a common interest for dance. I believe it was a Garba event that we met each other, and somehow that relationship has blossomed, and I'm excited to share with you her story, her journey of being a dancer. She started when she was 8 years old.
That's great.
And that has actually blossomed into a beautiful platform, Priya. And what is interesting about her platform is how she combines her passion, tradition, and she brings it out in such a beautiful way in form of a storytelling. So we're going to dig deeper into her journey, and I'm really excited to have you on board. Welcome to the episode, Priya.
First of all, thank you so much, Poonam, for having me on the show. And I've watched many of these interviews, and I've always been in awe of Poonam being an interviewer. And so I get to be on this side of today with her interviewing me. And as she said, yes, our friendship has blossomed over the past few months. I think we really complement each other in the work that she does and in the work that I do. I'm more about dance, and so that's how my name came about. Is my the platform handle is Nritya Priya, which of course my name is Priya, but also Nritya Priya. The reason I named it not just because my name is Priya, but it's because I'm a dance lover. First and foremost, and I don't presume or pretend to be the best dancer in the room. It's about my love and passion for dance, and it's also I wanted to share this platform with other dance lovers. And so it's all about our love and passion for dance, this platform. And as I always truly believe, is that when you bring something to the market, how do you differentiate yourself, right?
Exactly.
Because there are lots of dancers out there and a lot of really good ones at that and better than me too. But how do you differentiate yourself? And so, this is not necessarily something I set out to do to differentiate myself, but what I found was that I had um, I would say that a niche for storytelling because I love to write. And so I write poems, I write short stories. I still want, in the works is my own autobiography, but that's still out there. I haven't had time to work on it, but I love storytelling, and that is even more beautiful to deliver a story through the medium of dance, and especially classical dancing. So, as Poonam mentioned, I did start training in Bharatanatyam when I was 8 years old, and I was very lucky to have some really famous gurus at that time in Tamil Nadu, which is the birthplace of Bharatanatyam. Um, and so as I worked on my Bharatanatyam training and, having moved from Tamil Nadu to Bangalore, um, I would perform in my annual school day functions, right, from the age of 8. And it would be Bharatanatyam dances because, again, back then Bharatanatyam was a form that was really revered, and a lot of dedication and sincerity and training meant it was very important to train well to be able to perform on stage. And so, having that very strong foundation of Bharatanatyam, I think, has been really where I have been able to now take this forward because, again, it's Bharatanatyam and dances like Kathak, which are the basis of most of your dances. Of course, your folk dances and your Bollywood, they're all different genres, but once you learn classical, you can pretty much go do any. This is what I believe, and I have seen it with others too. If you have a strong foundation in classical, your abhinaya, your movements, they're all very graceful. You know how to do your mudras, and so you can always bring that even into Bollywood.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful, Priya. I think you basically took away some of the questions that I had for you.
Sorry, but you can't stop me once I get started.
But I'm glad you shared all of it.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that you're differentiating it. It's not just the raw traditional form aspects of it, although it creates the foundation.
Mhm.
But here you're bringing in the storytelling element of it, right? A
Yes.
lot of our a cultural background, like comes from Vedanta, and a lot of this aspects are storytelling, right? It's and everything is narrated in form of a story, and that's what resonates the most with people. But you've taken it a notch further, and you're using that and applying that in your art form that you've learned. And I like the way you're showcasing all of it. So if somebody wants to join Priya, like what should they expect, and how can they show up into your academy?
Yeah, so again, we're still in a grassroots phase. I wouldn't go as far as just call it an academy yet, but that is the vision, is to make it bigger than who the people I have around me, who surround me today. I've just been enlisting folks who are interested in dance. They should just have an open heart, open mind, and be ready to, just want to learn something. So this is not just open to Indians. I do see even the Westerners, and since we live in America, a lot of folks from the US too are interested in, how do I get involved? Because I don't have any foundation in this. And so it's about taking a small concept, a small story, and then building a dance around it with recent songs, and they could be songs from Bollywood, or just even songs that have just become popular on social media, because then that resonates with the younger generation as well, because it's basically storytelling, telling ancient stories, but with the medium of more modern music. Maybe it could be remixed music. So that resonates with the younger generation, and they're like, oh wow, this is a very cool story, because a lot of the children that are born in America, even my own friends, have told me, I want my children to know more about our culture, our roots. So how do you get them interested? And I think this is one great way to get them interested. So basically, to answer your question, it's just a willingness and to learn, and an interest and a passion for dance, and learning more about Indian stories. And I mean, I know the word mythology is, and I air quoted because people don't like the word mythology, because a lot of these stories are of our gods. And so they're not myths, they're real stories. And so to bring that through dance and let people learn, I think it piques their curiosity when they do that, and then they want to know more about it. So, yeah.
I like the aspect that you mentioned, that it's not mythology. My guru actually calls it's itihas, which is
history. Yes.
And we're reliving history through all these dance forms that you're creating, the choreography that's coming out of it.
Yeah.
And I actually had the opportunity to witness one of your performances recently at the South Asian Film Festival. That's right. And you did that in a very Broadway format, and I like how you actually were speaking in the background as some of the dancers were coming out. So tell us what the creative process behind that was, and how did you put that whole thing together?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for enjoying that show. And it was definitely something that, it was just an idea that was struck. I always wanted to do a timeline piece where I could show some iconic songs, because, again, Bollywood has existed since the 40s, 50s. And so there have been so many beautiful songs that we all like to hum and listen to. And so I wanted to bring out a piece where I could establish a timeline and show some iconic songs from the years. And I was like, how do I put this together? And I was just thinking of a way that would connect the dots. And I thought that, especially since Taylor Swift came out recently with her Showgirls album, which has been so popular with all the Swifties, I was like, okay, this generation of Indians, the second or third generation that have been growing here, they're more familiar with Taylor Swift than they probably know about, Piya Tu Ab To Aaja's kind of songs. So I was like, okay, so I want them to get excited about it. And so I actually was looking for very young uh, Indian girls who to enlist them for my dance. So some of my friends' daughters were ready to be a part of this show, and they were one of the Swifties. And when they heard this whole concept that I told them, this is how I want to bring it to I want you to walk through the various decades of Bollywood through a time travel machine. And that way you would learn very quickly, fast track their learning of Bollywood through the decades. she went like, "Oh wow, that's such a cool idea." So I kind of did a, I want to say, a focus group study with my millennial case study, and she was just, I love this idea. So I knew that it was going to be received well, at least from her generation.
Mhm.
And but what really took me back was how many people of different generations came up to me and said they love the concept. So of course I was also lucky to have a lot of great dancers who were able to really showcase each of the songs that I'd given to them in a very beautiful way. But I think the takeaway from that was that people really enjoyed the storytelling because they kept waiting for what's going to happen next. How am I going to tie it all in the end, right? That's what keeps the viewer really captivated and engaged.
Mhm.
And so I think that's where I think I now also I feel like I've elevated myself from not just wanting to be a really good dancer, which is always what I wanted in the beginning.
Mhm.
But now I think I have kind of elevated myself in my own journey, I mean to say, is more in terms of dance direction.
Mhm. Well, I really like that because that was going to be one of my questions is how do you tie in relevance, right?
Mhm.
Because you're taking something that was history
Yeah.
and how do you connect it back to today's times?
Yeah.
And you're doing that by weaving in Bollywood. And, yeah, and you had some really good talented dancers.
Yes, I did. I was
Yes.
very fortunate. God sent me really good dancers.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
No, I could tell. And the
We're only as good as our team.
That's true.
Yes.
That is very true.
Yeah.
And if you had the opportunity to watch the recordings, I would highly encourage you to do that because you will walk away feeling happy,
Yeah.
right? And yeah, tell us, Priya. I know the aspect where you said was where it captivates the audience, right? Because there's so many different dance academies out there putting up their own respective performances.
Mhm.
After a while, you lose the audience. But here you're keeping them captivated.
Mhm.
So if someone wants to come in and watch your program, what when you think of them leaving a show, what do you want them feeling when they leave the show?
That's a great question. Yeah. Or originally I would think of myself, put myself in the seat of an, spectator and see, hey, is this something that's going to resonate with them, or am I going to be able to engage them? But definitely I want everybody leaving the room to have a sense of, oh, wow, she told that story in a very different way. I did not see that coming. I really want that. I want them to say, I did not see that coming.
Mhm.
So it's about retelling a story in a different way. I mean, I think all these stories are out there for years, a lot of the stories, right? So it's just you can't just invent new. It's we've lived, mankind has existed, especially something with like Bharatanatyam, which is from ancient times. A lot of the stories have already been told, right? And I do believe that keeping some things in its purest form, like if you're doing Bharatanatyam, yes, don't mess with something that's good, right?
Right.
But then the fusion is where I think you're able to connect with a younger generation because I think the whole world loves Bollywood, right? So again, that's why I try to do a little bit more semi-classical because then you have elements of Bollywood in it as well. Because even in Bollywood songs, you will see a lot of Kathak dances, but they're done to very popular music where, the beats and it's very catchy. It's more like pop culture, right? So even though you're doing Kathak, and I know some of the purists will disagree as to no, Kathak and Bharatanatyam, it has to be done to only this particular traditional music. And not that I disagree with them, but there I think is a time and a place for everything, right? If it's showtime and if you're doing a show and a performance,
Mhm.
then yeah, fusion has its place. And that's where I think that, the fusion is really lends itself very well in captivating the audience. And one other thing I just wanted to quickly touch on is I recently did this for somebody's milestone birthday. I choreographed the story of Shakuntala. And so that was very beautiful. I mean, I was almost not going to do it, but then, somebody encouraged me that, yes, you should do this because we were running short on time. And to tell it, Shakuntala is a beautiful love story. And, it is her son who who's named Bharat and named after India, right? Who is responsible for the name of Bharat for India. And so it's a beautiful story from our ancient India that uh, and especially the romance part of her and her story with Dushanta, where they fall in love and then they forget each other because of the curse of a priest, of a sage who felt he had been insulted, and then him softening his curse about how they would reunite if he saw the ring that was given to Shakuntala. So I told that entire story through Bollywood songs. And these were very soft, melodic Bollywood songs where Menaka is trying to entice Vishwamitra, the romance between Shakuntala and Dushyanta, and then him forgetting it and then going back to his palace and then enjoying his court dancers. So those were the elements I tried to bring in through, again, this story, which I was able to narrate the story in 10 minutes with the dance. And I had about 10 dancers, and everybody left saying, again, we were expecting to see some very old fashioned dancing, and they loved that all the new modern songs that were brought into the storytelling.
Nice. I really like that because I feel like even though some of these stories have been told many times, it's your lived experience from your perception and adding the relevance aspect of it, giving a new flavor that makes it unique to who Priya is, right?
Yes,
And
yeah.
I think that's the amazing part of how you're bringing all of it together. So what's the vision for this, Priya? What do you have in terms of vision for your Nitya Priya platform?
So the vision is to continue bringing some new things to the table. Again, new stories. There are a lot of stories out there. I mean, I enjoy watching a lot of things from the Western world, the stories from the Western world too. And so, again, love is a universal language. There's love stories in all over the world. And so, again, it's about how do I put obviously, since I'm Indian and my training is an Indian dance, I'm going to put an Indian spin on it because that is what I'm good at, right? So it's about putting an Indian spin to these stories, and that's what I like to bring to the table.
Right, but that's you. That speaks to you, your authenticity, your essence,
Right.
so to speak.
Yeah, yeah.
And what you come to the table with. So if somebody wanted to connect with you, what's the best way that they can reach out to you?
Yeah, so we will probably drop a comment with a link to my Instagram handle, which is Priya. I have a YouTube channel as well where I put my bigger YouTube, my larger videos. But yes, please reach out to me on Instagram, and I'm happy to, take you along with me on my journey because I'm growing with this journey as well. I don't pretend to know everything, but I can tell you this, that I'm very, very passionate about dance. If I see like-minded souls, I want them on my journey. Yeah. Including yourself.
Absolutely. No, no, it was absolute pleasure. And I got the honor of actually doing this live in my house with Priya. I've never done this. I think we had an interview once where you interviewed me in your
That's true.
platform.
Yes.
And it's always said, if somebody awakens and if a soul awakens, they have a gift and a message to share. And this is Priya's gift to share, which is dance, or love for dance. So it was absolute, pleasure and honor hosting you on my platform. Thank you for joining me today.
Thanks so much. And especially, we didn't even realize it was Akshay Tritiya today. And what a lovely day to be able to, with Goddess Lakshmi, right? We pray to her. And so Lakshmi and Saraswati are two important goddesses for us to have their blessings in order to carry on dance. And so this is such a beautiful thing that happened today, unexpectedly a little bit, that it was Akshay Tritiya. Thank you so much, Poonam, for
Absolutely. And for the guys listening to the show, please subscribe to my channel, Creative in a Harmony. Until next time, bye for now.